Okay. Jeremy, all right, 87, 88, 89. Football player, Penn High School, assistant coach. All right, I want you to take me back to those thrilling days of yesteryear as a Penn football player. One thing that the front of this book is we're going to see a dedication to describing the Penn Way. So I want you to give me this answer in two separate mindsets. What does the Penn Way mean to you as a high school student athlete? And now as an assistant coach, what does the Penn Way mean to you? Chris and Dr. Spiker created this environment, culture. Knock it down. Speak up loud.
Penn Way is, everybody says it, but it's a brotherhood. It's tradition. It's that long black line, and it started back in 74, 75. And Coach Giesman, Coach Spiker had a vision. They put it together, and it's just everybody out there doing something for each other, no matter how good the athlete is, no matter how bad the athlete is. I wasn't an all-state kid. I was your typical Penn kid to put his butt in the weight room and lifted weights and just played hard and came out and played for the guy next to me, played for the guy on the defensive side, because I knew they were going to get their job done. They knew I was going to get my job done, and it's a brother. I'll give you a great example. The guys that I played with, they'll do anything for us. My family knows that. I'm 2 miles down the street. My car breaks down. I've got both my boys, my daughter, and I think my niece was with us at the time, or with them at the time. So my in-laws are 3 miles away. My mom and dad 5 miles away. So who do they call? Corporal Kent Wickham. Hey Kent, can you give us a ride? He's there in a heartbeat. So they know. They know that anything that anybody needs, they're going to look at that. And you always look back and bounce, things off those guys. You could tell those guys anything. One of my best friends, I was the best man in. Same team. It's a brotherhood of where you come together, play together, and you're in it together, no matter what.
Okay, you've had a chance to work with and play for Coach Giesman. You had a chance now to work with Corey, play for Corey. My numbers are right. Or is it Corey? Yeah, I think that's about right. Yeah. Okay, so talk about the two coaches, their similarities, yet the two differences.
Coach Gies is a master at getting in your head. As a player, the guy that you were going against and the guy that you're going to face that week, he was the best guy going. He's bigger in life, and he's getting you ready. He's getting you mentally challenged. Told me one time about some kid at Central, and he got invited. He goes, "Oh yeah, by the way, did you get invited to that?" I remember like it was yesterday. I was like, "No, I didn't." He goes, "Oh well, he must be pretty good. He might be a little bit better than you," and just getting me going. Went out and we had a good game. But he'd always get you ready mentally. As a coach, young coach, I remember February I got a call from Coach Wagner, said I retired and put your name in the hat, and I was like, oh my gosh, that was huge. He didn't tell me he was going to retire. We go against Ben Davis. They had a kid, last name Richardson, outside linebacker. Kid was a stud. I come up, we're game planning. He comes in. I said, hey, I'm not real sure about this. I didn't even get that out of my mouth. He's cussing me, telling me to get out of his office. Don't come with him with problems. Come to me with solutions and get out. I walk out, Coach Monhoop, Coach Corey, they're sitting out there laughing at me. And, just a young coach. So I go out there, spend hours trying to figure this out, come up with a great game plan, come in and said, okay, I've got it. This is what they're doing. This is what they're doing. This is what's going on. He goes, yep, I agree with you, but he goes, let's look at it this way and let's take a look at this and this. And we sat down and we discussed it really taught me, in life, everything. I mean, it was just from when I played for him till now, always, believe in yourself, try to figure things out, come with a solution, don't come with a problem, and and work through things that way. That by far was unbelievable. And he would, as a coach, Coach Giesman, if one of my players did something in practice, yell at me. Not so much him. He can't do it. He can't. And you would back that guy to the T, and that guy knew that you had his back. Now, he might not like Coach Giesman, as at times I didn't like him playing for him, because he'd do the same thing with Coach Wagner, and Coach Wagner would defend us to the T and to the ends of the earth. And that was, that's Coach Giesman. I mean, that part of it was just phenomenal. You were constantly learning. He passed that down to Corey. Corey, same thing, let us coach, challenge us, come down. We're in a huddle. We're going through things. We're not having a great offensive game. He comes down and he starts just getting after me. And the players saw that. And I didn't throw them under the bus or didn't do anything like that. I said, hey, we've got it. We're going to take care of it. We're gonna do things right. We're gonna get back out there. We've got this. And those players, man, they snap, come back around. We go out there and have a good game. Rest of the game, and it's that type of stuff that they're constantly doing, constantly challenging, constantly making you better as a player and as a coach. So it's that part of it has just been both of them. They're similar that way. The differences between the two, and Corey will probably tell you, he's learning every day. I mean, Gies is this, bigger in life guy, and just as I took over for a legend, Corey's taken over for a legend. Some people would say, oh, you never want to take over for a legend. Absolutely I do. Coach Wagner's number was on speed dial. My whole coach, and still is. In fact, I've went to Seattle 3 times, and we've seen Coach Wagner and visited, and love that guy to death, and I'm sure Corey's the same way with Coach Giesman. I mean, it's just that same thing. You constantly learn. He's just constant learning from everybody.
Take me back, 1987, 88, and 89. 3 years as a varsity athlete at Penn High School. Do you have a favorite moment along those roads traveled that's funny and one that's challenging?
I tell you, one of the funniest things I ever saw, we're playing my junior year, so that'd be in 88. We come back at Fort Wayne North. We end up beating them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's like 4 minutes left. We're down. Come back.
20-something points.
Yeah, come back and win. That was probably the best game ever to be a part of, player coach. I mean, it was just one of those games that you'll never forget. But the one thing that I'll never forget is, we're ankle deep in mud. I mean, that place was a hole, and everybody's getting excited. We're starting to come back. We'd had players sick, seniors sick. Gies comes running down asking, he's calling for one of the defensive coaches or something, and he comes down and slips and ends up on his back. And it's 5 feet in front of me. And we're like, he's gonna kill somebody. We're thinking that. And I'll never forget, Tim Beeler is standing over him, laughing, he's senior, laughing his butt off. And now here's an intense moment, and he is laughing, pointing, hey coach, you need help, just kind of doing one of those things. It was probably one of the funniest moments I've ever had. I didn't laugh because I was scared I'd get killed, but But Tim Beeler just sat there and laughed and laughed and laughed at him, and he got up and, he's, typical Geese, he's kept going and charging on, and, we went on and continued to win the game. That was probably one of the funniest stories I've been in as a player. As a coach, not necessarily a game. We went down to a state clinic one time, and myself and Coach Giesman had to get back early. I rode in the car. I drove, and he came back with me. I tell you what, that was probably one of the most memorable times as a coach that day. Listen to him talk, the lessons I learned in that car. He probably doesn't even remember it, but it was one of those times where you just shut up and listen. And I shut up and listened and learned a lot. He told me a lot, and he was retired at that time, and it was just one of those moments to where it was for a career. It was good for me. And tell me about his kids, coaching his kids, and how my kids are, they went through and giving me pointers on coaching my kids and being a coach and being tough, but not too tough. And I'm sure Matt and Tim would tell you that not too tough never came about. But it was just one of those things as a coach. That's something I'll never forget.
Thursday night, I had a chance to talk to this young kid by the name of Ty McCaskill. Shares the same last name as you.
Yeah.
Probably the same gene pool.
Yeah.
Okay, I want you to talk to me what it's like being a part of this great program, watching your son grow up in it, and being a coach with him.
Man, it's something that it's special. It really is. My oldest son Payne played, come through, and I tell you, you learn a lot from the first one.
Yes.
And it's one of those deals to where Payne sometimes gets the short end of the stick just for the mere fact you're learning and you do things different. Even advice to give him when he's playing compared to the advice I can give to Ty. Even from the recruiting process, that he's been more valuable than what I have been or anybody has been from that process to Ty. So Ty has been, he's been blessed that way. But to be able to coach both boys, that's something special. It's something that they've been around with. They're both, two totally different kids, but something they've been around with. They've been around Penn football forever, and they wore the shirts and been a part of the teams. They've wanted the wristbands, and they've asked for anything and everything, just like any other kid at the end of a game. Been around some great players, and it's really helped them. It's really helped them a lot. But I tell you, they won't understand it as much as how much I love being a part of that. As much as anything I've ever had coaching wise or anything like that. It's good to see their highs, good to see their lows, and to be a part of that, coach them through it, and life lessons.
Perfect. Good stuff, buddy.
Thanks.